So this video was titled Why Men Cheat. I wanted to make this video for a number of reasons, a number of personal reasons, but also to provide a level of understanding and an articulated level of understanding that often isn't brought up with this subject. Typically, it's just kind of written off. Men are pigs, and that's the end of it. But as you're about to see, I think there's a lot more to it. So a number of personal reasons, and I guess I'll get into that right now. A little bit of background on me. I'm 34, been married for almost 5 years to the most incredible woman in the world. When I got married, I had some personal concerns that, how would I get rid of this instinct, desire, need, whatever, to chase every cute piece of tail that crossed my path. And I just kind of rationalized it and said, well, when I'm up there professing my eternal and undying love and devotion to the most incredible woman in the world, in front of my friends and family, my imaginary creator, I was a little more religious at the time, then this instinct, this desire will just dissolve. And 6 months into my marriage, it hadn't. So I kind of shifted gears, and I tried another strategy, and by shaming myself into dissolving this issue, and it kind of worked. By making myself feel shameful and horrible and guilty every time I looked at some cute girl's ass, I was able to physically shut down. The only problem is that I completely physically shut down, and I wanted nothing to do with my wife physically. I enjoyed her company, still loved her, would do anything for her, but just had no physical interest in her or any other female. So that was kind of surprising, but I guess more damaging than it was helpful. So the next strategy was knowledge, and that's kind of how I've resolved just about everything in my life. Anytime I run into an issue, is try and become knowledgeable on it. So I started studying evolutionary biology, and I was quite relieved that there's at least sound evidence. Some people may just call them theories, but I sincerely believe it's pretty solid evidence that from an evolutionary biological standpoint, men have this instinct to procreate with as many females as they possibly can, simply because in more primitive times we weren't around that long. So you kind of planted your seeds, as many of them as you could, and also many women and children died during the process of childbirth as well. So even if you planted your seed in many places, there was a good chance that many of those seeds would not make it. So that's the basis of this instinct to pursue, multiple females constantly. The apologist, let me rephrase, women, a lot of women say, well, that's just an apologist's excuse for men to be pigs. But the flip side of that coin is that women also developed their instinct from this same period in our history as a species, and that's the maternal instinct. Now, no one would deny that women have most women have a strong maternal instinct to protect their children. And once again, that occurred from a time period when the male may have been killed or just taken off, and the mother was left as the sole provider for the children, and so she had to develop this strong protective instinct of those children to ensure their survival. So that's kind of the background on it. But in modern society, we've allowed women to maintain, their respect with their maternal instinct. We don't say, oh well, she'll do anything for her children because she's a bitch. It wouldn't make a lot of sense. But we turn around and say, oh well, men are pigs and they'll sleep with anything. But we don't acknowledge where that comes from, and it's not just I'm kind of making this condescending kind of female tone with it, but it's men as well. Myself included, had no idea why this was. When I was single, it was kind of like, hey, I'm the man, but like I said, on a deeper level, it really has more to do with our biological instincts than it does any type of social stereotypical labeling that is either imposed or accepted by us. So I was able to explain this to my wife, and like I said, she is the most incredible woman in the world. She listened, she understood, and I explained to her that there are probably 4 components to why men cheat. There's a cognitive one, an emotional one, a psychological one, and a physical one. And I'm constantly at an internal conflict because cognitively and emotionally I have absolutely no desire to be with any other female at all. But on a physical and a psychological level, there's gratification in both of those areas when I'm able to turn the head of a pretty girl and have her acknowledge me. There's actually a huge physical rush that occurs in my body when I see a beautiful woman turn around and recognize me. And that sparks all types of psychological things where I struggled with what I refer to as small man syndrome for a better part of my life. Not that I'm short or anything, but always been real skinny and small framed. And I start working out, and girls notice me, and so there's an issue with ego and my psychological makeup that is also lending itself to the situation. So this is once again the a better understanding as to why men cheat. It's not an apology. It's not, and the only thing I could suggest, I only got about a minute here, but the only thing I could suggest is don't put yourself in compromising situations. I enjoy, like I said, the attention of beautiful women. My wife recognizes that I enjoy it. I don't hide that from my wife. I have an incredible marriage, but I don't put myself in compromising situations like giving an attractive female coworker a ride home, at 11 o'clock at night, because that could lead to a compromising situation. Keep myself out of those situations, and I keep myself faithful. So I hope I've been able to supply some degree of understanding to men and women alike, and I'd love to hear any responses and feedback that you might have. Thanks a lot.